Hi, Yolandra. My name is Amber Thornton, and it's Yolandra, right? I see an R on the end of it, so I want to make sure I'm saying that correctly. But I wanted to take the time to respond to your post for this discussion board number 3. And this week we're talking about implementing a mental health policy and how that involves consulting and negotiating with stakeholders. And so the World Health Organization has given us a policy and service guidance program and package that kind of helps us prepare for barriers. And the barrier that you mentioned is when implementing the policy, that the primary care teams that we would potentially be using in reference, I'm guessing you mean in reference to the insufficient human resources, may already feel overburdened by their workload and refuse to accept the introduction of a new mental health policy, plan, or program. And I thought that was a great potential barrier to discuss, because it's very real, especially if we are looking into low and middle income countries. I would imagine the healthcare systems probably aren't as strong as they would in high income countries. And so if they're already feeling overworked and burdened with mental health, or with primary care, mental health may feel like an extra set of workload. You do mention at the end of your post that persons with mental disorders are already a hidden part of their burden. I think the World Health Organization emphasizes that as their primary concern when it comes to primary care, which is very true. I actually found a study. It's a qualitative study that was done by Janati. I might not be saying that right, et al. There's several authors involved. But basically it was a qualitative study that was evaluating through a semi-structured interview with 5 physicians to see what their experience was like providing mental health services to mothers with postpartum depression. And I thought it was really interesting because one of the things that I read in the study was that diagnosing postpartum depression felt very hard for them, which I think probably some of us in the mental health field wouldn't disagree with that. But some of the things they mentioned, the participants described the depression diagnosis as difficult due to insufficient knowledge among healthcare providers in the hidden signs of postpartum depression. They also described how different factors such as economic and cultural factors, personality traits, a community's lack of knowledge, and negative attitude towards depression and limited family support all played a factor. But providing mental health services involves certain challenges such as limited human resources, insufficient financial resources, and incomplete or inefficient policy making. So basically they concluded that part of the problem was already this stigma around the community when it came to understanding depression. And when we're dealing with postpartum depression within mothers, it's really important that there is a community support. And so what I was reading from these physicians who are already feeling like the diagnosis itself was a struggle, another issue that they found was the community. And so with that said, I think one way to combat the barrier that you have mentioned when it comes to mental health physicians already feeling overwhelmed and burdened by their workload, what would it look like? Another possible solution is really helping getting involved with some community programs. I like to think of them as boots on the ground. How can we get more into the community to help address mental health stigma and issues And even when we think about postpartum depression, getting the mother early on, before she even gives birth. So anyways, I appreciated your post and enjoyed dialoguing with it, and hope you are having a great day. Thank you.